Hey guys, I want to point out how far we got. I was playing around a little with that Little Rock Bowen therapy. I thought, okay, I'm going to move to other industries, other cities, and everything, show a bunch more results because we're getting traffic. And I want to show how that goes. But before I do that, I had a few more things I wanted to check out real quick. And I want to show you because this is pretty amazing. All right. Our crew is really, really good by now. It takes 30 people to do the productions right, but when you do them right, we want to objectively know we have done them fully right, and I want to show you really fast what that means. I'm going to do it right here in this set of pages. So let me just review this one point. Little Rock Bowen therapy. If you search Google for that, does Google know what you want? No, it's guessing. It's thinking, I think from previous searches of what people clicked on or chose to change, probably you mean Little Rock, Arkansas. I didn't write Little Rock, Arkansas, and even then Google would have to guess that that's what I mean. And Bowen therapy. Google's thinking, okay, I think you mean Little Rock, Arkansas and Bowen therapy. But when you do a broad search like this, how many results are there? Like in this case, 3,660,000 pages. Covers everything from Bowen therapists in Little Rock to a page that might say something like Dr. Christiana Bowen, who's into mental therapy. There's Bowen and therapy. Dr. Christiana, last name Bowen. Dr. Bowen, who's into mental therapy, says that when you check under a rock, there's every kind of person, big and little. Okay? So if there's a page that has those 4 words on it in any way, shape, or form, whether it's a directory, census, government listing, doesn't matter what, then it counts as part of this 3,660,000 results. So you're competing against them all, but again, you've got this in your favor. If you are into Bowen therapy and you're providing pages for Little Rock, right, then you have a natural tendency to be chosen higher because Google thinks that's what somebody's searching for. All right, keeping that in mind, here's the point. Beating them all, how often do you hear this? So here we go, we got it, but guess what? Not just do we get the #1 result organically, right? We could talk about map listings some other time. We could talk about ads some other time, but look at this. #1 result, but also the #2 result, but also the #4 result, and 6 result, and 9 and 10, whatever it is. Something like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6. We have 6 listings on the page, right? And we competed with everyone else. But there are other people still in there, and not necessarily Bowen therapists. They could be physical therapists. They could be rehabilitation people. Not necessarily Bowen Wellness Center, although something like this tends to rank because it's probably been around forever, even though we're beating them. Isn't that crazy? These guys have probably been around 20, 30 years. Been working on their website and their blog posts, their press releases, new pages, whatever, and all of a sudden we just took over, ranking #1 and 2 organically. Crazy. But here's the real thing. If we want to say, how well am I competing on my own turf though? Me versus other Bowen therapists. Forget all the other oddball things that could be in there, the census listings, government stuff. So 2 things I want to point out right now, and that's this. Okay, we had 6 results on the front page. What if you went to page 2? Like, are there any results on the rise? New websites that might wind up on the front page soon? And so we went to page 2. Same search, same thing. Little Rock Bowen therapy, just page 2. And we continue counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. So we got 5 listings on page 2. And again, a bunch of the other guys here may or may not relate directly. They might be different, but for Google, they're somehow a little bit different. These are guys who do other things too, or whatever it is. So Google's trying to show some variety. But okay, here you go. Let's talk objective. Dave, how well did you do vis-a-vis other Bowen therapists in the same niche that you're aiming for with the kind of keywords you're aiming for? How well did you do? Let's do that search properly. Do you know how? We would be more specific. We would say, okay, Google, to figure that out, we need your help. Treat Little and Rock together as a phrase. Make it one thing. So somebody who starts typing rock, that's because they already typed Little and they're continuing with rock, right? Little, rock. Treat it together. Also, Bowen therapy. Okay, it can't be somebody's talking about 5 kinds of therapies. The first kind of therapy is mental, second kind is physical, fifth kind is Bowen. Okay, we can't do that. Bowen therapy by itself needs to be a topic, and it's got to be on the page. So we need Little Rock and Bowen therapy. How do you accomplish that? You put double quotes around those things. So here's how that looks. I'm going to go back to the front page, but this time I'm going to put double quotes around Little Rock. Okay? This isn't what people would do, but this is how I evaluate how well I've done my job. I'm going to go here. Okay, that's what it is. So now it's showing me 18,600 results. Okay, so those other 3,600,000 and whatever, 42,000 results were for other things that are not the same as this. This requires Little Rock and requires Bowen therapy. Okay, that makes sense. 18,600 pages. Sounds like a bunch of Bowen therapists in Little Rock for the past 20 or 30 years putting out blog posts, sticking out press releases, typing new pages, addressing objections. Sure, that makes sense, right? Okay, Little Rock and Bowen therapy, 18,600 results. We have had our pages live for 2 weeks, and then we refreshed them the first time. For those of you who know what I mean by that, right? Refreshen the pages, rewrote through the pages for the next month. Now, that was at the beginning of the month. It's 13 days later. Google's had a chance to see that we did that on on our websites. By now, they would have gone through all the websites and seen it. What's the results? Here's the results. Little Rock Bowen therapy. That's ours, that's ours, that's ours, that's ours. That's ours. And we got pages 2 and 3. And guess what? There's going to be something magic. But I'll show you in a little bit. So like 2. They're all ours. 3. They're all ours. And at the bottom it said, the rest of the search results I have for you were similar. Do you want me to continue showing? And I said, yeah, continue showing. I know they're similar. At this point, we're just beating everybody. So guess what? 4, they're all ours. 5, they're all ours. 6, they're all ours. 7, they're all ours. 8, they're all ours. 9, they're all ours. 10, they're all ours. And I just gave up looking at that point. I said, I haven't even opened page 11 because I didn't see the point anymore. It's like, wow, 10 pages deep, all top 10 results. So on our turf, in our field, in our niche, the way we're trying to compete, we took the top 100 spots. It's all the different websites. It's Effective Bowen Help, Pain-Free Through Bowen, Local Bowen Help, Effective Bowen Care, what else? Tireable Massage, I don't know, Pain-Free again, Expert Bowen Practitioner, Natural Bowen Care. It's tons and tons of results. Different subdomains though. So some of them are going to show more than once. You might think, why is that? And the answer is because we build so many different themes and content structures into these projects that for Google, one subdomain is really different than another, and they're both worthy of showing. Totally different user experiences, but we have so much cross-linking or backlinking happening. We have expert authority links in here. We wrote the pages to be capable of ranking on the front end, and we built the pages functionally in the back end to pass all the scores. The result of that is, I don't know, what's it been? 6-week-old pages basically at this level. They were up for about 2 weeks, and then we hit the button to refresh. We're up for about 4 weeks, and we hit the button to refresh. We've been up for about 2 more weeks. And this is insane. But at the end of the month, we're going to refresh all the pages again. Google comes back and goes, oh, wow, I'm even more impressed. And then we're going to get more pages ranked. And then the end of the next month, we're going to refresh the pages again. Google's going to come back and go, oh, wow, I'm even more impressed. And then we're going to rank even higher, take over more. Now, there's a few things that are cool. For those of you, by the way, who feel like I'm stealing the results from others, I'm going to point something out that'll blow your mind. It's cool. So let me just finish this real quick, and then I'll wrap that up. So Little Rock Bowen Therapists, it's a different angle. Instead of Bowen Therapy, Bowen Therapists. 3,280 listings anyway. That's how many pages out there talk about them. That's ours, that's ours, that's ours. Right? That's ours, that's ours, that's ours, that's ours, that's ours. Yeah, I mean, we got the whole front page again, okay? Everything. Isn't that wild? Unbelievable. Las Vegas Bowen Therapy. See, these are the qualified searches. I'm using the double quotes not because people will doing their normal search, but to see how well we're competing in our niche. What it will take for someone to beat us back. Well, here's the other point I want to make. When you go 100 deep like that, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're all the way down that far and you've covered everything. When your competitors are trying to beat you, they're hitting armor, right? They don't just have to beat a page. They have to beat 100 on the way up the ladder. Google already said these 100 that we just put out 6 weeks ago are worth more than all the pages that have been there for 20 to 30 years in this niche, right? Which is the normal niche. Bowen therapy is a short tail keyword. You can't shorten it more and still make sense. If you're in Little Rock, you don't even need to type Little Rock. Just type Bowen therapy and you're going to see basically the same results. Maybe a little skewing from your point of view, but generally not. It's mainly going to be the same results. Google doesn't need to see you type Little Rock if you're in Little Rock. I need to type it because I'm in Seattle. But you can't go shorter tail than Bowen therapy. If you try to say Bowen, that's like if you looked up Dr. Soles for the shoes and you just typed in doctor. It's too generic. Bowen doesn't mean anything without the word therapy or therapist or work or Christina Bowen, right? Dr. Christina Bowen, something like that. Okay? Bowen, you can't do that. So what about therapy? Oh, well, therapy is too generic. You want to qualify for therapy? You want to win therapy and be the first result? You've got to write about all the possible topics about therapy. You have to be an authoritative expert on the topic. People should be able to read about everything that has to do with therapy on your site. You have to become the encyclopedia of therapy to compete. There's no point, especially because most of the people coming through all that content have no interest in buying something. They're just studying. They're researching something. I had a guy once say, do people still like research and learn stuff? Well, first of all, a heck of a lot more now than they used to, now that we've all learned to get online a lot more than ever. YouTube is a university, so are topics. People browse and read them a lot. People learn how to read faster and read topics. And not just that, but Wikipedia is what? The 7th most viewed website in the English-speaking world? The 7th, number 7. And Wikipedia is nothing but massive encyclopedia information about everything. Goes to show, doesn't it? People study. People learn things. People scroll down for the organics to read about things that they didn't know. What is Bowen therapy? They're not ready to they're not ready to click on the map listings. They're not ready to click on the ads. I don't know if they need a Bowen therapist. They're still studying what Bowen therapy is. They'll scroll down, read the organics. Our organics go, hi. What is Bowen therapy? Here's what Bowen therapy is. Here's how it started. Here's who invented it. Here's why it works. Here's what's important about it. It's non-invasive. It's good for you. Here's all the ways you can use it. If you need a Bowen therapist, click here. This guy, he's awesome. In your area, just a few miles away from you. Okay? That's how these sites work. Now, that answers the point there. So the second point I want to make is this. When we built these sites, we made them referral sites. So you know how you put your website out, pretty soon you find a bunch of other websites are using your information to reference you. How do we do that? When we put the sites out, we put in the business name, address, and phone. The real businesses' names, addresses, and phones from the area. So guess what? When people are landing on our listings, they're calling those companies. Then we can offer those companies leads for sale, rent the website, buy the website, get a bigger project, do more stuff with it, right? We can offer it. But what we're doing right now is helping those companies out. So all the listings that we put in there to show the companies what we can do for them. Now, if a company's like, I don't want you doing that for me. I'm a physical therapist, not a Bowen therapist. You got me wrong. Say that happens. Piece of cake. We can literally cascade the change through our system overnight, literally in like an hour, and totally rewrite through whatever would have been their name, address, phone with some other company in the list who didn't have a problem with that. Which is like basically everyone, because they want the leads. They want the calls. Many companies are going to get a lot more phone calls from this and not even know why. We'll start reaching out to them later because we can track the clicks on mobile phone numbers and stuff. That's going to be a lot of them. And we can track the visitors that hit each of the subdomains for each company, who that is. And we even know who the people are who hit the subdomains for those companies. So we can call and tell them, you've been getting these hits. Some of these are the guys, some of these guys became your clients. And we can wheel and deal with them, which is just the nature of the internet. It's totally cool because everyone wants to know who can rank me. We're ranking people so we can show them. And then, we can restructure and we can help people get higher and lower in the rankings all the normal right ways, organically. It's amazing. And so that's why it's also not harmful. It's not hurting anyone. When the locksmiths when we did that job for them 7 years ago, they created fictitious companies, put dispatcher phone numbers on it that called the dispatch center. The dispatch center would take the information and resell it back to them. Not a bad idea. The only thing about that you could say was like unfair is the fact that they built the website so well organically that the real companies were shoved to page 2, page 3. And then they took their spot, right, with fictitious companies, okay? We're doing it differently now 7 years ago. We don't need to go fictitious. We get to actually use the company's information and put them all up. Most of these guys do not have websites as good as ours anyway, but they don't have to be a replacement for their website at all. It's just some fan page. It's like fan pages. Someone is like, wow, man, these guys are great. If you have a problem with it and you need a bound therapist, click the link or call the number, right? Here's the company you want to talk to. And we have the company's videos in there. Things like that. So it's absolutely phenomenally cool. Okay. So I'm just letting you know, that's how that thing's done. And like I said, if we go further, like Las Vegas out there, I mean, we're doing this nationwide. It's not just about Little Rock. This is nationwide. 89 industries we're doing this in right now. We've been unfolding that over the week. So they're starting to grow, they're starting to grow, they're starting to grow. Some of those are like 6 weeks old, some 5, some 4, some 3, some 2, some 1. Some are still getting finished and being released. But all of this is growing right now. Okay. And yeah, Las Vegas, Bowen Therapists, that's ours, that's ours, that's ours. That's ours, this Bowen directory here. Yeah, that's it for that. But take a look. Even a Bowen directory. I mean, we've got a Bowen directory, right? That we've had up here for a while. And that way we can algorithmically lock in the clients. I got to update that phone number. But we've got like search members and stuff. So each of the websites have a link from a directory. We haven't even updated this list since our last major run. So we have links to all those websites. But a bunch of those links are broken. We're going to fix that in our next run when we go through the Bowen directory with the new links with the company names, addresses, and phones. And then the matches will be even stronger. Google gets to see that. We're also creating a layer of HTML Blitz Tier 3 everyday man sites. Every man day-to-day websites. Simple 5-pagers, 10-pagers, 20-pagers. Some have minified coding, some don't. Some have second-gen images. Some still use old JPEGs. That way there's no footprint. It's not like all the sites are perfect. In order to get better at what we do, we have to cross the bell curve and come down the other side to create realism so that Google sees realism all the way through the entire structure. So our websites will get even more powerful. I mean, you're just seeing the beginning of it all. Okay. Chicago Bowen Therapy, Chicago, right? We're starting to show up there. I forget where. That's ours. That's ours. That's ours. That's ours. That's ours. What was that? 5? The front page listings for Chicago Bowen Therapy with double quotes, right? And without, we're still starting to hit somewhere. That's ours. That's ours. It's a couple of them. Isn't that crazy? 3 of them, 4 of them. Isn't it funny how you find yourself and you don't quit looking? You keep looking to see how many more front page results you've got, even out of 4,208,000 results. We got what, 4 on that page right there? No double quotes at all. What's the point? Here's where we're headed. 89 industries. This is what we did for locksmiths. When they first started, it wasn't even profitable for the first year and a half. All of this build up here was the beginning for them. And then once they got about here, they got their money back. So about 2.5 years in. And by then they kind of relaxed and they quit putting so much effort into the pages. They started to get old and fade and lose rank. Somewhere along the way, that had happened to the point where here it started to feel painful for them. And they said, get off your butts, get going. And they started to create new content, update content, improve the content. And look at this, because now they had aged domains with the second massive consistent run of good quality content onto the websites, right? See what that did? What are our lessons? 1, don't be put off by this. This is the beginning. This is that roller coaster Google dance that you go through before you start gaining traction going up the ladder. 2nd, you do go up the ladder. If you do the refreshing you're supposed to every month, which we can do with the press of a button for all of our industries now, in a day, we can refresh. I can't even tell you how many web pages we have. It's tens of millions. It could be hundreds of millions, tens anyway, like maybe 80 million web pages that are all top quality. That's insane, isn't it? Oh, and our other thing is don't get lazy like this. Stay here, get that to happen now. Just keep it up. And we're doing it with 89 industries. Okay? Isn't that crazy? That's like credit repair, chiropractor, auto repair, you name it. There's a dog care facilities. It's just we went clean across the board. Appliance repair. We're doing it so big that it cannot fail. There are ways people can get involved in that and earn from that. There are a number of ways I'm going to put out in a webinar. It's a really big deal. You're going to want to be a part of that. I'm still getting that together, but you can see why now. There's so much happening. It's absolutely unbelievable. The other thing I want to point out for those who are curious, notice how almost all of these results are subdomains. They're not the main page of the website. You might think, why aren't they the main page of the website? Why are they so many subdomains? 3 parts. One, the uniqueness of the content means that as all these pages are written differently, Google's finding a page it feels is the best. Also, the different subdomains have to do with different companies and different locations. So one of the subdomains is about Little Rock, Arkansas. Another one's Denver, Colorado. Another one's Las Vegas. Another one's Los Angeles. Another one's Chicago. Another one's whatever else, right? That's that. So that's another reason. Third reason, we know that our templates are not always going to hit. Google doesn't like to show the same thing twice, and that includes templates. But we use 25 themes, and we have 1,000 variations of each theme, 25,000 variations. It's like having 25,000 themes. So it allows us to have so much diversity in the template and the content and the relatedness of the city that Google just finds something useful for each of those spots. And since we are doing this with such concentrated, careful effort, both in the back end of the website and the front end, the 150 checks that Google looks at in the back end and the 100 checks Google looks at in the front end, about 250 that matter. There are more that they look at, but they're kind of arbitrary. You can do more of this or more of that. Who cares? You can do none of this and none of that. Who cares? Google doesn't care. But there's about 250 checks you have to make that do care, and we do those checks, all of them. One last thing I want to point out, and this will blow your mind. For those of you who know, if we do the 100 websites times 100 subdomains times 100 pages per sitemap, it's a 1,000,000-page launch. You do a 1,000,000-page launch, if we're doing that project for $15,000 and it's a 1,000,000-page launch, how much does each perfected web page cost at this economy of scale? $0.015. Isn't that nuts? This page, with everything that makes it powerful enough to be one of the top results there is for the keyword, costs $0.015 to produce. That page costs $0.015 to produce. That page costs $0.015 to produce. You get it? That's extraordinary. Okay? All right, so I think you understand now the insane level of incredible power that's happening here, right? Do not miss on the webinars. Figure out how to get involved. I hope you really like this as much as I do. I love showing it because I've never seen a website developer show anything like this before. We can get you on the front page. If you pay us a lot of money, a bonus, like $7,500 extra is a bonus, we'll guarantee you're on page position 1 for at least 3 months, or something like that, 6 months, right? And but think of all the traffic you'll get if you are. And yeah, one can look up the traffic and say, wow, if you're number 1, you're going to get a lot of traffic. You'll make your money back. But they don't charge like that. We don't need to charge like that. We charge for a project and then refresh the pages every month. It's part of the project cost. You know how hard it is for the industry to compete with us? They got to try to beat through the 100th page, then the 99th, 98th, 97th. They might get as high as the 80th page, and then we refresh all the pages the next month, and they just fall all the way back down again. Because everything they've been writing to try to get them that high up, and all those new backlinks and everything, still, the content's going to get old. They're going to set and forget more content. All the content we create never gets forgotten. We reset it every month. It's not set and forget, it's reset and remember. Every month, all the pages. So Google sees them all as important. Somebody still on the other side dealing with the page must be valuable. Unlike all these other pages where somebody did something once with it like a year ago, no one's ever been back to improve upon it. So I guess it's not working for them. So I don't see why it ranks very highly, why it should rank very highly anymore. That's how Google handles set and forget. Every time pages do well for companies, they start trying to figure out what other link they can put in there, another video they can get you to see on that page. But if companies aren't doing any of that, pages must not be all that important, huh? And so Google lets them slide. So all we have to do is refresh our pages every month to regain control and retake the tops. It's pretty cool, huh? We can rent websites, sell leads. We can do co-ops. We can create the MLM project for the one guy going straight down, canvas everything related to him. And then we can sell leads down through his downline. What they're happily going to pay for, because everyone wants to buy the leads instead of work for them, right? Many people do. So how cool is that? All right. That's what I got to say for now. Hope you like this.